Hello Internet. Today I'm going to talk about a product that's very commonly used in film development, and I just got a new one. It's made in England. It's called the Paterson tank. This is the box it comes in. This is the one I got is a universal size. They have various sizes. It's probably one of the most popular tanks, but one of the reasons I decided to make this video is I ran into an issue and I'd like to talk about it, hopefully save someone else time. Now the Paterson tank, as you can see, it's pretty strong plastic. This is your cover. Comes with an agitator so that you can do this sort of agitation. This piece keeps the film in total darkness. And then you have your reels and the tank. Now this model comes with two reels, and these reels are adjustable, and they go, when you put in the tank, they go on this little thing which holds it in the right place in the tank. Now here's the thing that could be a little tricky with this. When you first get it, I had a lot of trouble opening these. These reels can be a little tricky. So now this is what I want. What worked for me is you hold this in your left hand. With your right hand you turn. You're going to need a little bit of force, and it pulls open. And what you're able to do also is this particular reel has three different sizes: 35, 120, and something in between. Can't remember what that is, but you stick this in to make it 120, which is what I did my first roll in this morning. Let me show you. You see this here? It's a bayonet style mount. You have this notch here. You stick the notch in the mount, make sure it lines up properly to the size you want, and then simply turn it, and now it's a 120. Now one trick that I saw from another YouTuber, if you're doing the 120, is this. Whoop. Let's pull this. You take the small side of your second reel, you stick it through the reel holder, I guess we'll call it, and you stick this on top of it. What this does is it gives it a bit more stability. It gets a little bit higher in the tank, and as you can see, this is how it's going to work. So this is kind of a neat trick that I learned. Again, it's not, I learned it from another video. A gentleman made a video on how to use this tank with some really old film formats, and he showed it worked quite well. Now, a couple of other hints if you haven't done this before. What you're going to do when you load the film, and I don't know how, this is a piece of scrap film, or a piece of film that that the develop was no good at when I put it in, and the film did not develop. So you stick this in here like so, and you've probably seen this, a number of people have done these demos. Make sure it goes in, and you simply turn. Now it could be a little tricky. When I put it in this morning, it took me about 2 or 3 times to get it. Because remember, you're going to be doing this in total darkness. And then when you're done, again, you're going to take this until it goes all the way. And by keeping your fingers, use your fingers to kind of keep everything staying in line. And eventually this will go in here, this is fully in. And then you simply, when you're done developing and you want to get the film out, you turn and pull it apart. I said, make sure when you do this, the tank is very dry. The mistake I made when I first started developing film is I made the mistake of trying to get the film nice and, you know, I'd actually rinse the tank and the reels out when I went to go to develop, and then I wondered, well, why am I having such problems trying to get this to work? Why can't I get the film on the reel? Well, it was because these things were wet. And what I found this morning when I finished developing, these are going to be wet, and it's going to be a bit trickier to pull them open. So just grab a towel or paper towel or something like that, and that'll, you know, so you're holding on to something dry, and that worked fine. And again, you have the reels and tank. This can develop 2 rolls of 35 millimeter film at once, which is kind of nice. And one thing I like about this tank from some other tanks I had, the tanks I had before, is this is nice and big. Your chemistry doesn't slop around, so it's much neater in that regard. I don't think you really need this to have this in the tank the whole time. This is, you know, I use this mainly at the end when I was trying to slosh the final rinse through. This cover can be a little, you have to make sure that this is over the lid, that the lip goes over, so you give it a good push, and then go through and make sure it's all there. You can see it's all, the lip is all under there. So this is the Paterson tank. Again, it's a very common tank, very popular tank. But I did want to give you some things that I've learned about it that might make it easier for you when you attempt to use it for the first time. So thank you, and hope this video was helpful. One additional thing I'd like to point out about this. On the bottom here, they give you the amount of chemistry you need for each film size, and the second size was 127 film. That's important. If you don't have enough chemical in the tank, as you can imagine, your film you're going to be like half developed. And I ran into that the first time. One of the first times I developed 120 film, I put in the same amount of chemistry I'd always put in for my 35 millimeter, and yeah, I had half a negative. So I just want you to be aware of that if you're doing a larger, if you're using this for the first time, or you're doing a larger film size for the first time. Just be aware of that so you don't make the same mistake. Right, thanks.